and it means war.
But this Western alliance did not stop communist aggression in another part of the world. On June 24th, 1950, North Korean forces suddenly stormed across the 38th parallel into South Korea. President Truman called a meeting with his new Secretary of State, Dean Acheson, to discuss the terrible prospect of sending U.S. troops once again to fight on foreign soil.
We had to resist the North Korean incursion or run the risk of South Korea collapsing. Mainland China had already succumbed to communist control. It was a painful and bitter decision, but at the time it seemed no choice but to go in with troops.
By October, a UN military force under the command of General Douglas MacArthur had recaptured the South Korean capital. Truman flew to Wake Island in the Pacific for a strategy meeting. In private talks, the president made it clear he didn't want the fighting to escalate into another world war. MacArthur reassured him, the boys will be home by Christmas. But MacArthur could not keep that promise. On November 24th, China suddenly entered the war, sending 300,000 troops to reinforce the North Koreans. As the fighting dragged on, the general ignored orders to contain the war and publicly demanded permission to bomb China, pushing Truman a step too far.
MacArthur was actually directly insubordinate, and no president, before or since, could tolerate a commander in the field who violated orders from the commander-in-chief.
I believe that we must try to limit the war to Korea. A number of events have made it evident that General MacArthur did not agree with that policy. I have therefore considered it essential to relieve General MacArthur so that there would be no doubt or confusion as to the real purpose and aim of our policy.
MacArthur didn't take dismissal quietly. On his return to the States, he was given a hero's welcome, turning the situation into a public relations disaster for Truman.